Hi, Pastor Graeme, coming to you with a devotional thought for today. Just want to have a look at Luke chapter 10, verse 30. And Jesus is responding to a question asked by a lawyer, asking the question, "Who is my neighbour?" And Jesus answered and he said, "A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, who stripped him of his clothing, wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a certain priest came down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Likewise the Levite, when he arrived at the place, came and looked and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion." This is the account of three men who came across the same scenario. They each saw the same thing. They each had the same opportunity to do something. And the opportunity was there to make a difference in this man's life. In fact, the opportunity to save his life. Each one made a choice that day. And every day, we've got the opportunity to make choices in our lives. We can choose to live for ourselves. We can choose to live for others. We can choose to make a difference in our world or just not bother. We're living in a world that's more and more telling us what we should think, what we should accept, what we should serve, or more to the point, who we should serve. There are forces at work, I think, that would like to take away our freedom to choose, particularly when it comes to right and wrong. I think of Joshua in the Old Testament, and he stood near the end of his life before the Israel nation, numbering probably about 2 million people at that time, and he declared this, and it's in Joshua 24. He said, "Serve the Lord. And if it seems evil to you to serve the Lord, choose for yourselves this day who you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Joshua's choices changed the course of a nation. And the Samaritan's choice certainly changed one man's life on that day. So a couple of things to consider when it comes to choices. Just give these a bit of thought. First of all, God has given us a free will. He doesn't twist our arm to help others. He doesn't guilt trip us into doing the right thing. In fact, he could have made us all robots, but he didn't. We've got the ability every day to choose how we live and the decisions that we make on a daily basis. Secondly, God made a choice about me and you. He chose to save me from a lost eternity. Seeing others as God sees them helps me in how I choose to treat other people, because he could have just chosen to let me go my own way, but he didn't. He chose to send Jesus to go to that cross so that I might have eternal life. Thirdly, our choices will affect our destiny. For example, who we choose to worship, obviously that's going to make a big difference as to what our destiny looks like. Other choices, who we choose to marry, how we choose to spend our money, where we choose to live, what attitude I choose when I get out of bed in the morning. All these can determine the direction that our lives take. So I encourage you to ask wisdom to make choices today, the right choices today. Fourthly, our choices can make a difference in somebody else's life. How I choose to speak to somebody today may be just the thing they need to hear. How I treat somebody today may be the thing that lifts them out of depression or out of a dire situation. How I choose to live today can be the example that somebody else maybe needs to see. So what choices will you make today? Be like Joshua. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So God bless you as you choose wisely today and in the future.